I'd like to show you one of my favorite houses in Amsterdam. Built in 1606, this substantial house, 4 stories tall, is made of brick and imported glass. It's the house of a substantial merchant. It's really not the house of an artist, but the house says as much about Rembrandt as any of his paintings do. Come on in, give you a look. We're delighted to be here at one of Amsterdam's truly iconic locations, historic Rembrandthuis, where the great painter lived and worked from 1639 until 1658. What I love about this house, more than anything else, is the feeling I get when I'm here. From the kitchen to the attic, this house is filled with history. It's like walking back in time. We're stepping almost 400 years back into the 17th century. This house shows how a prosperous Dutch burgher, a citizen, lived then better than any place else in the world. The light, the windows, the floor are just as they were then. So that when I see the great master's paintings, I know exactly what he was talking about. This is the perfect place to speak to our guest today. She is one of the world's experts on Rembrandt. She has gathered together the broad wealth of research on Rembrandt. She's done her own powerful investigation on this painting, and then she wrote a book that proves that sometimes art can explain history better than anything else. Her book brings to life one of Rembrandt's greatest paintings, The Anatomy Lesson, a painting which shows the dissection of a human body for scientific research.
I came with a grant to do research for about 9 months. It turned into a project that lasted about 6 years.
Yes, but why Rembrandt? Why this painting? How did this come to be? Why are you interested?
It goes back to my childhood, actually. My dad came to Holland when he was right after medical school, and being a recent graduate of medical school, he was familiar with autopsies. So he picked up an image of the anatomy lesson of Dr. Childress as sort of commemorative of his own experience. And my dad was an immunologist at the height of the AIDS epidemic in New York. And he used to talk to me about the fact that he felt like a doctor in the dark ages because he could treat people but not save lives. Just looking at that image of this body on the table and all these men standing around looking like they have great authority, but you get the sense that they don't. I sort of felt like that was, in a way, a metaphor for what my dad was talking about. So it stuck in my mind, and of course, since it was on the wall, and it's a very riveting painting.
And you were a little girl, looking up at this body being exposed, and these men looking at the inside of the body.
Arm being torn apart, basically. And there are ways that, if you look at it, you're not sure if the person is actually dead or alive sometimes, you know, or if you look at it a lot like I did as a child. So it really charged my imagination, and knowing very little about it, of course, made up narratives in my own mind about what it was.